form, gentlemen. And poor old United, Richard, struggling for form, and they meet one of the favourites for the tournament, second favourite behind City for people who measure these sort of things. And after the promise of last season under Erik Ten Hag, is there a sense that United are going backwards?
Quite possibly. I think the success of last season came on the downfall of a couple of other clubs. I think United finished where they finished in the league, probably because Liverpool and Chelsea fell away, and Tottenham also. I don't think the signings that he's made since he's come in have really improved the side an awful lot. There still seems to be an air of individuality about the team when they play. They don't seem to have any rhythm to what they're doing, no real togetherness on the pitch. And then obviously they have the problems with Sancho, with Anthony, Greenwood previous to that. So you add that then to the takeover, and it just seems like a club that's in disarray at the moment. There doesn't seem to be any real leadership coming from the very top, and he hasn't managed to get the performances out of them on the field on a consistent basis. You don't know from game to game how they're going to perform, whether they're a pressing team, whether they're a passing team, what they are. They just seem to be individuals just all over the place, chasing the ball around at times, and they look like they're searching for something. But it's been 2 years now, so it's not. I don't think it's been a great success so far with the manager. He's got lots to do.
Yeah, and that's after what it seemed like, having made huge progress last season, Brian. I wonder, this game obviously brings memories of 1999 and that famous final, but I wonder, does that only serve to kind of illustrate, what Richard is talking about on and off the field? Does it feel like they're a long way away from those days?
Yes. The hope was that they were getting a bit nearer, 14 points behind Manchester City last year, but really they were a lot further behind. I mean, we'll go back to the game when Manchester City beat them 6-3 early in the season. They narrowed that gap and they beat them in the second time round, and there were signs of improvement. But I would give the manager a fair bit of leeway at the moment, because Richard mentioned some of the problems he's having to deal with, and they are really difficult things to deal with. The Sancho one must be very frustrating, one having given him time off last year to get himself sorted out, allowed him to train with an amateur team in Netherlands. He came back, looked like he was going to do something for them, but he hasn't done anything really for them. Been poor value for money. And lots of players they've signed haven't worked out very well. It's even starting to look like Casemiro mightn't be great. He was a
linchpin last season.
He was a linchpin last season, but you wondered why the Real Madrid let him go, because he was the youngest of the three midfield players, of the Kroos, Modric, Casemiro, and yet they were prepared to sell him on to Manchester United. They got good money for him, but nonetheless they must have seen the signs that he wasn't getting about as well as he used to. And now we're seeing definite signs of that early in the season. Now maybe it's an early season thing, we don't know yet. Some of the games they played this season, they've been a bit unlucky and a bit unfortunate. In the Spurs game, Spurs beat them 2-0, but there was times in that game they were well in the match, the better chances, missed big chances in the game, and then the game turned against them and there was no comeback, and they didn't seem to have the spirit to come back, and that's probably been the thing that's been lacking in them, that spirit. A lot of players missing. You look at the back four, there's probably only one playing that would be in their best back four because of injuries. Varane would play, Shaw would play, Wan-Bissaka would probably play, new goalkeeper in there, midfield area not doing well, Rashford is not here hot form, a lot of reliance on a new young player up front, and this is the manager's choice.
Team then, isn't it?
Yeah, it is trouble, but it is early in the season.
Well,
but three defeats in 5 games is a seriously bad start to the season, particularly with the form of Liverpool and Manchester City.
The worst of the Premier League era for them, and were they to lose tonight, it would be the worst competitive start since the season Big Ron got the sack, which is going back a fair while.